How do we begin to feel more alive? Hi, I'm Dr. Kori Propst, the ground zero health psychologist committed to helping you rebuild your powerful life. And I'm the creator of the Mental Edge Academy. In this second video of this 5-video series that I've started on self-awareness, I'm going to share with you one epic question that I've learned to ask myself to really begin building self-knowledge. So when the relationship that I'm in hit about the 1.5-year mark, I began to notice a really deep sense of longing. This almost massive hole of discontent and sense of loneliness inside of me, almost this sense of obsoleteness. And I noticed that I felt like I didn't matter. My immediate reaction was to look toward him. How many of us do this in relationships? We blame the other person. We blame our partners. We look towards them and we find all the things that they're doing wrong and that they need to change, right? Well, I did that. I went immediately to the things that he should fix and how he needed to change to make me feel more loved. There was a sense inside of me that I was unappreciated. And while all of these things may have in some small amount or big amount may have been true, there was something missing in the equation. Can you guess what it was? It was me! I was missing in this equation. So after a period of working through and honest sharing between the two of us, and we're discussing what's happening and how I'm feeling and how he's feeling and the tendencies that I have when I'm starting to feel out of sorts and anxious and absent in the partnership to control and to fix and to guide, right? Things only got worse. The more that I sort of pushed and asked for things and nudged him in certain directions, the further away he went. It was very awkward and very difficult and incredibly uncomfortable and unpleasant, and the internal sensations that I was experiencing made me just want to run. They made me just want to cut and run. I'm done. And this is another tendency that I recognize about myself, but I wouldn't recognize this about myself if I wasn't committed to self-knowledge and self-awareness. But so it makes sense, right? If we look at this from an observer perspective, as one partner is kind of pushing and prodding and asking and needing, that the other would feel almost overwhelmed, and that, like, I can't give you all of that. And that's really how he began to feel. He felt very inadequate. I was not doing a good job of telling him what he was giving me. I was very much kind of in his face about what not just he, but we needed to do to make this partnership valid and healthy. And hey, I'm Gottman certified and I work with couples. I know this stuff. Like, if we don't do this, this, and that, we're doomed for failure, right? You can only imagine how just kind of annihilating that can feel to the partner. Like, can you relax? Like, is there not anything good about our partnership? But so I felt him moving further and further away. And it was a really uncomfortable situation. Now, it's more complex than this, obviously. I can't go into every detail of what happened, but we each have our own histories and hurts and ways of defending ourselves and protecting, like all of you do as well. But it wasn't until I asked myself this one question, and no one else had proposed that I ask myself this question when I would come to them with stories of what was happening and how I was feeling, which I find really interesting, except that the people I'm talking to are kind of in my corner. They want me to feel good. They want things to work out for me, right? So it was very much validating what I was experiencing, as opposed to, have you ever thought about it this way? Or put yourself in this person's shoes. But so the question is this, guys. What is your responsibility in this situation? And it was not about finding the answer immediately. And I think a lot of times when we ask ourselves a provocative question like this, we can come up with an immediate answer. Oh, well, it's this. I'm in a partnership and it's really important that we work things out together. My responsibility, particularly because I'm a therapist and, I've done all this reading and researching, particularly because of those things, I have a duty and a responsibility to teach him what I know so that our relationship can thrive. Okay. That's great and really superficial and misses all of the points that I just made and misses all of the history and the dynamics underneath the words. All right, so my point in sharing that piece of this with you guys is that when you ask yourself a question, allow yourself to sit with it. Let it marinate. Don't just let the first thing that you think of be your guide in your answer. Because that's not the unconscious stuff that's driving you. Self-awareness is all about getting underneath the conscious and moving into deeper levels of emotion, of belief, of biases, things that are running us, but we don't necessarily understand that they're running us or how or why. So it's really about living into the questions. And I recognized a number of things after posing the question to myself. And one of my biggest realizations was that he was not responsible for 100% of my feeling loved. Okay, I say that and you're like, yeah, duh, that makes complete sense, Kori. I can't believe you didn't get that. And it's not that I didn't get it, it's that I didn't feel it. I didn't sink into it. I didn't embody it. Whenever a feeling of emptiness would come about, because he is my partner, my mind would automatically go to, well, it's what he's not doing. And if he were doing this, then I wouldn't feel this way. And to be perfectly honest, there have been plenty of moments in my life, now that we are in a much better, more loving, more compassionate place, I still feel lonely. And I still notice moments of, you don't matter, Kori. Even when he's doing things that show I do. This is the work of self-awareness, okay? So, in the moment, I felt like I made this miraculous discovery, and that's sometimes what it can feel like. You may share it with someone else and they're like, yeah, okay. But it feels incredibly insightful and like an aha moment to you. So it showed me just how easily we can all live in self-denial and how we can live in this world of illusion and made up story. And the thing is that it's absolutely our personal responsibility to learn to love ourselves. This is what it got to and came to about for me. Personal love, unconditional love for myself. And the other piece of that is that it's absolutely no one person's responsibility to provide us with love and a sense of goodness. That's already there for us, and that's what I'm continuing to learn. That's our true essence. We already have that within us. It's not about finding it out here. It's about learning to extract it from in here. Okay? So your number one concrete question to begin sitting with and allowing to marinate inside of you is, what are my responsibilities in this situation? How am I contributing to this? Thanks, guys.